Chapter 8. Names. She brought Manon back through the winding ways in the dark, and left him in the dark of the undertomb, to dig the grave that must be there as proof to Castle that the thief had indeed been punished. It was late, and she went straight to the small house to bed. In the night she woke suddenly. She remembered that she had left her cloak in the painted room. He would have nothing for warmth in that dank vault but his own short cloak. No bed but the dusty stone. Get him, get him, get him. Birds are eating, the birds are diving and jiving and swooping and swamping after some bugs, and it's pretty cool to see. Anyway, a cold grave. A cold grave, she thought miserably. But she was too weary to wake up fully, and soon slipped back into sleep. She began to dream. She dreamt of the souls of the dead on the walls of the painted room, the figures like great bedraggled birds with human hands and feet and faces, squatting in the dust of the dark places. They could not fly. Clay was their food and dust their drink. They were the souls of those not reborn. The ancient peoples and the unbelievers, those whom the nameless ones devoured. They squatted all around her in the shadows, and a faint creaking or cheeping sound came from them now and then. One of them came up quite close to her. She was afraid at first and tried to draw away, but could not move. This one had the face of a bird, not a human's face, but its hair was golden, and it said in a woman's voice, "Tenar," tenderly, softly. "Tenar, she awoke. Her mouth was stopped with clay. She lay in a stone tomb underground. Her arms and legs were bound with grave clothes, and she could not move or speak. Her despair grew so great that it burst her breast open, and like a bird of fire shattered the stone and broke out into the light of day. The light of day, faint in her windowless room. Really awake this time, she sat up, worn out by that night's dreaming, her mind befogged. She got into her clothes and went out to the cistern in the walled courtyard of the small house. She plunged her arms and face, her whole head, into the icy water. Until her body jumped with cold and her blood raced. Then, flinging back her dripping hair, she stood erect and looked up into the morning sky. You see this right here, this is another. This goes to speak to like the true nature of the nameless ones. Why, they just let her sit up all night having all sorts of bad dreams. And they like it that way. Or they're okay with it. Whichever way, I'm not sure. But that's pretty raw. Like, they really have power. And possibly the power to, like, affect your dreams and stuff. So why are they shines like that getting cut? They're fooding their shelves in the chute or the chute, you know. You can't foot your shelf in the chute or the soot. Anyhow, it was not long past sunrise, a fair winter's day. The sky was yellowish, very clear. High up, so high, he caught the sunlight and burned like a fleck of gold. A bird was circling, a hawk or desert eagle. "I am Tenar," she said, not loud, and she shook with cold and terror and exultation. There, under the open, sun-washed sky, I have my name back. I am Tenar. The golden fleck veered westward toward the mountains, out of sight. Sunrise gilded the eaves of the small house. Sheep bells clanked down in the folds. The smells of wood smoke and buckwheat porridge from the kitchen chimneys drifted on the fine, fresh wind. I am so hungry. How did he know? How did he know my name? Oh, I've got to go eat. I'm so hungry. She pulled up her hood, ran off to breakfast. Ha, ha, ha. Food, after 3 days of semi-fasting, made her feel solid, gave her ballast, but she didn't feel so wild and light-hearted and frightened. She felt quite capable of handling Castle after breakfast. She came up beside the tall, stout figure on the way out of the dining hall of the big house and said in a low voice, "I've done away with the robber. What a fine day it is." You almost had it. The cold gray eyes looked sidelong at her from the black hood. "I thought that the priestess must abstain from eating for 3 days after a human sacrifice." This was true. Arha had forgotten it, and her face showed that she had forgotten. "He is not dead yet," she said at last, trying to feign the indifferent tone that had come so easily a moment ago. "He is buried alive under the tombs in a coffin. There will be some air. The coffin isn't sealed. It's a wooden one. It will go quite slowly, the dying. When I know he is dead, then I'll begin the fast." "How will you know?" Flustered, she hesitated again. "I will know. My masters will tell me." "I see. Where's the grave?" "In the undertomb." "I told Manon to dig it beneath the smooth stone." She must not answer so quickly, in that foolish, appeasing tone. She must be on her dignity with Castle. "Alive in a wooden coffin. That's a risky thing with a sorcerer, mistress." "Did you make sure his mouth was stopped so he cannot say charms? Are his hands bound? They can weave spells with the motion of a finger, even when their tongues are cut out." "There's nothing to his sorcery. It is mere tricking," the girl said, raising her voice. "He is buried, and my masters are waiting for his soul. And the rest does not concern you, priestess. This time she'd gone too far. Others could hear. Pintha and a couple of other girls, Doby and the priestess Mebeth, all were in hearing distance. The girls were all ears, and Castle was aware of it. All that happens here is my concern, mistress. All that happens in his realm is the concern of the God King, the man immortal, whose servant I am. Even into the places underground and into the hearts of men does he search and look, and none shall forbid him entrance. I shall. Into the tombs no one comes if the nameless ones forbid it. They were before your God King, and they will be after him. Speak softly of them, priestess. Do not call their vengeance on ye. They will come into your dreams. They will enter the dark places in your mind, and you will go mad. The girl's eyes were blazing. Castle's face was hidden, drawn back into the black cowl. Pintha and the others watched, terrified and enthralled. They are old, Castle's voice said, not loud. A whistling thread of sound out of the depths of the cowl. And they are old. Their worship is forgotten, save in this one place. Their power is gone. They are only shadows. You have no power anymore. Do not try to frighten me, Eaten One. You are the first priestess. Does that not mean also that you are the last? You cannot trick me. I see into your heart. The darkness hides nothing from me. Take care, Arha. She turned and went on with her massive, deliberate steps, crushing the frost-starred weeds under her heavy, sandaled feet, going to the white-pillared house of the God King. The girl stood, slight and dark, as if frozen to earth, in the front courtyard of the big house. Nobody moved. Nothing moved. Only Castle, and all the vast landscape of court and temple, hill and desert, plain and mountain. May the Dark Ones eat your soul, Castle, she shouted in a voice like a hawk's scream. And lifting her arm with the hand stretched out stiff, she brought the curse down on the priestess's heavy back, even as she set foot on the steps of her temple. Castle staggered, but did not stop or turn. She went on and entered the God King's door. Arha spent that day sitting on the lowest step of the empty throne. She dared not go into the labyrinth. She would not go among the other priestesses. A heaviness filled her and held her there hour after hour in the cold dusk of the great hall. She stared at the pairs of thick, pale columns going off into the gloom at the distant end of the hall. And at the shafts of daylight that slanted in from holes in the roof, and at the thick, curling smoke from the bronze tripod of charcoal near the throne. She made patterns with the little bones of mice on the marble stair, her head bowed, her mind active, and yet as if stupefied. Who am I? She asked herself, and got no answer. Manon came shuffling down the hall between the double rows of columns, when the light had long since ceased to shaft the hall's darkness, and the cold had grown intense. Manon's doughy face was very sad. He stood at a distance from her, his big hands hanging. A torn hem of his rusty cloak dangled by his heel. "Little mistress." "What is it, Manon?" She looked at him with dull affection. "Little one, let me do what you said. What you said was done. He must die, little one. He has bewitched you. She will have revenge. She is old and cruel, and you are too young. You have not strength enough. She can't hurt me. If she killed you, even in the sight of all, in the open, there is none in all the empire who would dare punish her. She is the high priestess of the God King, and the God King rules. But she won't kill you in the open. She will do it by stealth, by poison, in the night. Then I will be born again." Manon twisted his big hands together. "Perhaps she will not kill you," he whispered. "What do you mean?" "She could lock you in a room down there, as you have done with him, and you would be alive for years and years, maybe. For years. And no new priestess would be born, for you wouldn't be dead. Yet there would be no priestess of the tombs, and the dances of the dark of the moon would not be danced, and the sacrifices would not be made, and the blood not poured out, and the worship of the dark ones could be forgotten forever. She and her Lord would like it to be so. They would set me free, Manon. Not while they were wrathful at you, little mistress. Manon whispered. Wrathful?
Because of him. The sacrilege not paid for. Oh, little one, little one, they do not forgive.
She sat in the dust of the lowest step, her head bowed. She looked at a tiny thing that she held on her palm, the minute skull of a mouse. The owls in the rafters over the throne stirred a little. It was darkening towards night.
Do not go down into the labyrinth tonight,
Manon said very low.
Go to your house and sleep. In the morning, go to castle and tell her that you lift the curse from her, and that will be all. You need not worry. I will show her proof.
Proof?
That the sorcerer is dead.
She sat still. Slowly, she closed her hand, and the fragile skull cracked and collapsed. When she opened her hand, it held nothing but splinters of bone and dust. No, she said. She brushed the dust from her palm.
He must die. He has put a spell on you. You were lost, Arha.
He has not put any spell on me. You're old and cowardly, Manon. You're frightened by old women. How do you think you'd come to him and kill him and get your proof? Do you know the way clear to the great treasure that you followed in the dark last night? Can you count the turnings and come to the steps and then the pit and then the door? Can you unlock that door? Oh, poor old Manon. Your wits are all thick. She has frightened you. You go down to the small house now and sleep and forget all these things. Don't worry me forever with talk of death. I'll come later. Go on, old fool, old lump. She had risen and gently pushed Manon's broad chest, patting him and pushing him to go. Good night, good night. He turned, heavy with reluctance and foreboding, but obedient, and trudged down the long hall under the columns and the ruined roof. She watched him go. When he had been gone some while, she turned and went around the dais of the throne and vanished into the dark behind it. Thank you. Thank you. Ain't that something? That Manon feller, it's like hopelessly devoted to her in a strange way. And not like the bad way. but it's kind of heartwarming. It's a lost cause. The nameless ones, the worship of the nameless ones is petering off, and he knows it, but he's there. He's going to go downstairs and whack a dragon lord for the priestess. That's loyalty right there. That's loyalty. He don't know precisely the power that Sparrowhawk's got left in him. He could be saving up one good one that could just explode him from insides out or something like that. Make his blood boil. Turn his bones into iron. Or something like that. Turn his bones all into stone, and then he wouldn't be able to move, and it would be agony. Anyhow, thank you for listening. This is a short one.